Map Dad here. So my oldest will be leaving the nest in the summer of 2020. So the summer of 2019 was a last chance to get a look at college campuses. So we visited one of the biggest college cities in the Northeast. No, not Boston. Here, Providence, Rhode Island. Now, Map Dad was especially excited because he'd never been to Rhode Island before. True story. Back when I was a preteen, we took a family trip to Mystic, Connecticut, and one night we were playing mini golf in Pawcatuck. I saw a sign that said Rhode Island was only 1 mile away. I asked my dad if we could cross the state line so I could cross another state off the list. He said no. I've held that grudge against him for almost 40 years. Anyway, while I thought this was going to be state number 40 on the list, I double-checked. I don't think I've hit Tennessee, so let's call it state number 39. I flew into T.F. Green Airport south of Providence. Love the enclosed skywalk that takes you all the way out to the rent-a-car facility. It was then a 45-minute drive south to Newport so I could get to the second most important part of the trip, judging who makes the best lobster rolls in Rhode Island. Newport has several working docks, so the first stop was the Newport Lobster Shack. A nice-looking creation for $23. While the meat was delicious, I was disappointed in the roll. You need the real butter-grilled roll. This one wasn't up to the task. Newport has a lot of interesting things to see. A trip to the International Tennis Hall of Fame was worth the stop, as was a visit to the Touro Synagogue, the oldest synagogue in the United States. If you're looking for a snack, a quick stop at Liberty Donuts does the trick. Fresh, fried, and filled goodness. Dinner, yes, more lobster. Not a roll this time, but a lobster dinner at Benjamin's. I also highly recommend the Rhode Island clam chowder. It's not thick and creamy like its New England brethren or red like its Manhattan counterpart. Broth-based and delicious. We drove back to Providence where we stayed at the Homewood Suites downtown, a relatively new facility centrally located. $28 for overnight valet, a bit excessive, but our room price of $233 for a one-bedroom suite with breakfast included, and on one night a pizza and salad dinner with free beer and wine was a decent offer. I woke up the next day and went for a walk downtown, an uphill jaunt to the Rhode Island State Capitol building, a smaller version of the big boy in D.C. I'd seen with my son earlier in the summer. I walked into the state visitor office and asked a gentleman where to eat if he had one meal in Providence. I thought he would recommend one of the fine Italian restaurants in the city, but he said Gracie's. It was the end of restaurant week, so a $49 three-course meal highlighted by a delicious piece of swordfish. The hotel was right across the river from the Rhode Island School of Design, RISD as it's known. Its buildings snake up a hill where if you go another block or so east, you find yourself on the Brown University campus. I really liked the vibe and both campuses. On the last full day, it was back to Newport first for more lobster rolls. I'd been told to check out Anthony's Seafood just outside Newport in Middletown. Inside, I saw a small sign that Guy Fieri had made a stop here. The lobster roll, sublime. Perfect grilled roll, $22. I highly recommend it. But I still wanted more. I'd heard the best lobster roll deal was at Easton's Beach Snack Bar. Twin lobster rolls for just $17. So I got them, and a lobster roll different from all the others, one that was just lobster meat as opposed to more of a lobster salad, and that came with melted butter. The twins were good with a good grilled roll. The straight lobster roll was fine, but my favorite of the trip was Anthony's. After lunch, off to get a taste of not the 1%, but the 1/10th or 1/100th of 1%. We toured two of the mansions that line the Cliff Walk. The Breakers, a 70-room summer estate of Cornelius Vanderbilt, pretty unreal. Even with all the opulence here, I felt that the Marble House was even more impressive. $32 for the adult ticket for two properties that included the Breakers, just $9 for everyone under 18. The last night, back to Providence and a stop at a downtown shop called Waffle. Yeah, sure, why not? But the night's highlight was scoring some last-minute seats to Hamilton at the Providence Performing Arts Center. Beautiful setting, the show was great, the seats, a fraction of what it costs on Broadway. That's Rhode Island, a tiny state with big things to do. I'm Map Dad, helping point your travel in the right direction.